All right, welcome back to episode 4 of the Power Trip podcast. I am 4 Point Play, but my actual name is Nathaniel. To my right, I got Muhammad, and down here, that's Tef. But how y'all doing today?
I'm pretty good, bro.
All right. That sounded
Chilling.
very unenthusiastic, but we're going to keep it pushing. But we usually ask for a hot take before every episode. This is a very new podcast, so we're not getting any. But today we have two hot takes to react to for the next episode, for episode 5. If you want us to react to your hot take, drop it in the comments. But let me read it out. The first one is by the Prime Eater, and he said Dylan Brooks will win Defensive Player of the Year. So, what do you guys think? How likely is it that he actually wins the award, and what would have to happen for him to win it?
Don't even have to say
You don't know?
Bro, he's not winning. He's not winning. There's doesn't. I mean, he's a good defensive player, but I mean, like the Rockets got to win. Number one, like he not winning nothing. Number two, it got to be more known. Like he actually got to make plays. Like there's a difference between like being a good defensive player and then defensive player that makes like plays. And I just don't think he makes enough plays. So yeah.
I think he made an all defensive team last year. So if it comes to like voters, they see him as an all defensive player, and I would say most people that make the offensive team, they have a fair chance at making the winning defensive player of the year. But the thing is, they just don't win enough. Like even if you want to say he has the talent for it, the Rockets are like at the bottom of the conference, so it's just hard for me to say, oh yeah, he's gonna win enough, and he'll be good enough defensively for him to win it. Mama, what do you think about this take though?
Um, like you guys said, he's not by any means a bad defensive player or anything crazy, but like I don't think he's also good enough. You also have to take into account he's not necessarily on a good team, good record. So I'm pretty sure that plays a big role in all departments when it comes to like MVPs and all teams and things of that nature. And then on top of that, with voters, I don't think he would necessarily be a popular enough player also to where he can actually win all like be the defensive player of the year. Like he has some popularity, but it's not for the right reasons.
But he still made the all defensive team. Like making the all defensive team, the voters see you as a top 10 defender or top 4 defender in your position. And a forward, being a top 4 defender as a forward is very impressive. Like there's players that are very good. I think OG and Anunoby didn't even make the list, but Dylan Brooks did. But maybe you could even say the reason he made the list is because the Grizzlies were so good, because that's a part of it too. That it's not sometimes it's not really the best defenders. It's just the best defenders on good teams. Which I mean, I don't know. What are you gonna say? You're gonna say something?
I still don't think he has the popularity even to get a for defensive player of the year.
All right.
To be honest, I say otherwise. I feel like his popularity and the clout that he had last year is the reason why maybe he got a defensive team because I mean I feel like there's people that can make the same plays as him, but they're also not as known as him. Like OG is a better defender, but when did you hear OG's name last year? Like for what reasons?
But I mean, OG was like a 10 seed. Like they finished. The Raptors weren't that.
Exactly.
I don't know. But let's go to the next one. Oh, you guys want to take on this, or you want to say something else?
No, I was just gonna say I don't think his popularity from last season carried over to this next season.
Mm. But the next one is by Aspect3896, and he says the Clippers will miss the playoffs and start a rebuild. How likely do you think that is to happen?
I don't think the Clippers will miss the playoffs, but most definitely I think a rebuild is going to happen within the next like 2-3 years, maybe even next year. Yeah.
I think it's more likely that I think they can miss the playoffs. Honestly, I think it's very possible in their future, just simply because Kawhi and Paul George just have not been consistently healthy. Like, but the rebuild part, I don't think this like next year they'll start. I think in a couple of years, because they're building a new arena. They want to bring in tickets. They want to bring in people. So that's probably even maybe influenced why they brought in Harden, because he's a popular name. People know who James Harden is, even if you don't follow the NBA. And you probably know who Kawhi Leonard is. You know who Russell Westbrook is. So I don't think they're going to rebuild next year if they miss the playoffs, but I think they could miss the playoffs and just try to run it back again. And maybe after that one, they'll rebuild, like you said, like 2-3 years. But I think you're kind of like, there's a real possibility that they do miss the playoffs.
I personally don't see them missing the playoffs. Like, I feel like it's kind of a stretch. But I definitely do see them going into rebuild mode, considering they have a lot of contracts that are about to expire in the upcoming like year or two. If I'm not mistaken, both Kawhi and him. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm. They're on player options, I'm pretty sure, or team options, some type of option.
Things aren't going well there after this season, especially. Like in the event that they do miss the playoffs, I don't, or maybe I don't. Yeah.
But what the thing is though, what type of team would even try to offer the money and be, like you could be a 10th seed and miss the playoffs, like, or like a 9th seed and miss the playoffs, but you could take that option for 45, and if you go to the free agency market, they're gonna offer you less money because simply just because of how your contract is formed and in relation to other positions. And are you gonna take that Hornets money, and you could even say, oh, they're farther away from winning a championship in the next 2-3 years when I'm still at this top level compared to the Clippers right now. So, but you can continue what you're saying.
Oh, I forgot what I said.
Nate, how likely do? Bro, I keep on interrupting you, bro. Keep going.
I was saying, yeah, there's a likely chance of rebuilding. And I say this because it really depends on how they do this upcoming season. I don't see, though there's a chance of rebuilding, I also find it hard to believe that Kawhi would leave for some reason. Like, something tells me he wouldn't leave.
But he left the Raptors when they just won the championship.
Yeah, but I feel like there's more factors that come into play when it comes to the Clippers, considering this is his hometown team and things of that nature. I wouldn't be surprised if he just wanted to play it out from there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just my take of that.
I don't know. It's very, I think, very interesting when it comes to how good the Clippers can be, just down the stretch, because they don't even have the picks. We were talking about it last episode with the James Harden trade, but with limited to no picks left, it's just very interesting when it comes to what the Clippers were going to look like in 2028. Most definitely.
If they do start their rebuild this year, I don't think any of them are going to go places for a lot of money. They're not going to go for the same amount of money they were just playing for. I think they're going to go for, maybe a little bit less money, but on a team that can actually get them somewhere. Like Paul George, I know he still wants to win. So if he doesn't see results this year, I don't think he's staying with the Clippers. Westbrook, I know his $8 million deal is just this year, and he can go somewhere. He might want to go to a contender, but too, he's been leaving all of his teams. But Kawhi, I see him leaving too. He came to the Clippers. I don't see any of them retiring anytime soon. So I think he can still come back at some point, but I don't know. I just think they'll go for a little bit less money, but actually go somewhere where they think they can win, where they think they fit, if they do leave this year, after this year.
What team do you think of when you say that?
What teams, for who?
I'm saying, okay, for Paul George, what team do you think he would go to that he would sacrifice less money to join?
Maybe the Mavericks.
That's the thing. You're sacrificing a lot of money. It's like $40 million is how much you would get if he just with the player option versus I don't know, 10, maybe 15. But still, I mean, that's a lot of money you would be missing out on.
15 mil is way too low, though. I don't think none of them are going to go to 15 mil. I'm just saying none of them are close to actually retiring, but they're still, they're still getting older. I don't think Paul George is going to be as good in the next 4 years, 5 years. Same with Kawhi. I just don't think their injuries are going to let them play that long.
The thing is, though, you have to get rid of something for them to fill in that spot that Paul George the money. Like you had to lose something for them to get Paul George. And if you want to say they trade away Tim Hardaway and they put a pick in it just for that cap space to sign Paul George. Okay, but you're still losing a pick and a role player. Like you have to say something. They're not just gonna be able to just to leave any team and then join a playoff team for pennies on the dollar. They're gonna have to. Not gonna be able to sign and then for 40 million because that's just not how the free agency works, especially with how it's gonna work now.
That's a team I picture him on. I think the Mavericks could be a good spot for him or even Kawhi, to be honest. Because I don't know, for both of them, I feel like they don't need the ball at all times. But
I like the spot, but I'm just saying the it's like easier said than done. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah, and there's definitely other teams I can see them, both going to, even all four of them. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
teams I can think of that I think would help. I mean, that they could go to, but at the same time, it's like you know, we'll see how this season goes because that's really the deciding factor.
Mm. The season started somewhat recently. It's still kind of new into the season. Only about 6, 7 games in for each team. But we're gonna go through some teams that have done really well to start off and really bad to start off, and we'll see. Do we think this is kind of exact? Are they gonna look like this for the rest of the year? Are they gonna look like this for the rest of the year, or is it just this is just a bad beginning? They're gonna bounce back. They're still a top 15 team like the Utah Jazz, according to Muhammad. But uh, we'll let's. I'm gonna give you guys the first team. They are the Bulls. The Bulls are 2-5. You think they are 14th in the East? Where do you think is the future for the Bulls this season?
Me personally, I feel like they're gonna blow it up by the end of this year because, well, they have no point guard. They have nobody like.
They don't. They have a Javon Carter. He's a good role player. They have Io and they have Caruso, but they don't have a playmaker. I guess like more traditional point guard.
If you think about all the good teams, I feel like they have a great point guard. Like the Celtics have Drew. The Nuggets have Jamal Murray, and then who else? The Bucks have Dame. Who else? I mean, the Suns. I guess they have either Devin Booker or Bradley Beal. But I'm just saying, like, have a pretty good like success rate. Like, I feel like you need a good point guard, and it can't be like it can't just be somebody you consider just a role player because he needs to be out there doing his thing. And I feel like just they're struggling with that. Like their point guard issue is just not okay. They
I
had
know.
Zach
Hold on.
LaVine
Hold on.
50 shots, score 50 points, and they still lost.
The thing is, are you considering Lonzo to be a star point guard then, like an all-star caliber
Bro,
point guard?
I'm not saying he's an all-star. I'm saying he fit really good with that team. I'm saying when he was playing, they were number one seed at some point, and then he got hurt, and now look at him. They're getting,
But not all of it is just due to him being gone though. Like if he just joined, they wouldn't just shoot straight back up. In my opinion, I think a lot of that was part of teams back like in that season, the beginning, like the Celtics. They started off very slow, and they were just a really hot team that just got even hotter with Lonzo. And I think just adding him in doesn't just solve all the issues. I think not just you, but people in general, when they look at the team, they just think, oh, once they get Lonzo, it's gonna be everything's gonna be back to normal. It's not gonna be like that. And I think even at their ceiling, what is the ceiling for the Bulls with Lonzo? A second round, like probably a second round exit, like a fifth seed.
Yeah.
They probably make the second round. That's like the worst. Like that's maybe one of the worst positions to be. Is a second round caliber team that like you have no more assets, you can't do nothing else with. So, isn't it better just to tank it all? I think they should tank. I think they're going to be the next team to tank. Like last year was, this year was the Blazers. I think they're going to be the next one. Mama, what do you think? Do you think they're going to blow it up too?
I do think they're gonna blow it up. You know, it's just they don't necessarily, like you said, the best they could be is like a second round exit team. Realistically, like they have a lot of players with potential. Like I personally I'm a big fan of Ayo, and obviously there's like Zach LaVine, DeMar, and but it's just like it's just not working.
Hmm.
In terms of what they got going on, they have two very good players, but like for some reason it's just not meshing together well. And you can't say Lonzo's missing, but Lonzo's a good point guard, but he's not like I don't think he's like. I don't think he would be the difference maker for his team to like push them over the hump.
Yeah, it must. They're an interesting team.
Bro, Lonzo is not. I don't think Lonzo is the key. I said a point guard is the key. They need a good point guard, and it can't be a role player as their point guard. I
So
mean,
what?
they had
So what are you considering Lonzo to be? Because when you say not a role player, like there's really
He
good.
wasn't a
There's point guard. There's role players. There's really good point guards, and then there's all stars, and there's MVPs. Like, are you saying because Lonzo's in that really good, right?
I think Lonzo was in that really good category when he played with the Bulls.
You think he was leaning more towards all star or role player?
I think he was just at that middle
Just at the middle.
stage where he needed more time with that team because we don't know. At the end of the day, we saw Lonzo take. You know, I honestly for me, I saw Lonzo get better like at the snap of a finger. Like he left the Pelicans, and honestly, to me, he got way better. You seen him; he was being recognized.
I don't think he. It was just. I think he still was really like he did take a step, but a lot of the stuff that he wasn't able that he did on the Pelicans, they just didn't really. They're a very weird team. Honestly, they're at a very very weird status. But we don't want to spend too much time on the Bulls, so we're gonna go to another team. The Magic are the fourth seed. They're 4-2. Do you think they can make the playoffs this year?
I do. I'm a Magic. Well, let me think about this. Yeah, I think they will. I think they're probably gonna hover around the fourth, fifth, sixth seed for a while. I don't think they're gonna get any better. The reason why I say they might digress a little bit considering they're a younger team, but they definitely have the potential and the like. I see potential in that team
Mm-hmm.
for me. I mean, with Wagner, Paulo, you know, a lot of people aren't a fan of Markel Fultz. I don't understand why, but like I just feel like with that team, the chemistry they have, especially Wendell Carter is underrated. On top of that, like I think they have a chance to potentially playoffs.
I think they're gonna be like a sixth seed. I mean, a seventh seed playoff team. You know, I think like they're gonna maybe play the play-in. Maybe they're even like a ninth seed, and then they fight their way into the playoffs. They're probably gonna lose to maybe the Celtics or something, but I think they can most definitely make the playoffs. Nate, what do you think? Do you think they're making the playoffs, or you think that's too soon for this team?
I mean, it is a young team, and I don't know the way they've been playing recently. Who have they beaten? Matter of fact,
Let me look. Um, they've played. They beat the Jazz. They beat the Lakers. They lost to the Clippers and Lakers. They beat the Trailblazers. They beat the Magic. I mean, they beat the Magic. They beat the Rockets, and then they lost to the Pelicans. So there's some teams that are like the Lakers is a nice win. That's probably their best win so far. But I mean, they're still. I think. I think it is still too soon. I don't think they're going to be a fourth seed. I'll just say that. But I think they're type decent.
for me, I don't see them. I don't see them making the playoffs. Maybe the play-in, but I mean, I feel like everybody's just kind of jumping to a conclusion. We just seen all the teams. I feel like they beat the Lakers today. I mean, it was a solid game, I guess, but I mean, Lakers are a much better team, so I'm not too worried about the Magic beating the Lakers one time. Yeah, beating them one time, and then also the teams they lost to, I think, are playoff teams. So
The
of course, I can
Trailblazers
see
are a
them.
playoff team.
No, hell no. But at the same time, you see, like they lost to the. Did they lose to the Trailblazers?
They beat the Trailblazers.
Exactly.
Didn't I say that?
That's
Hold
what I'm
on.
saying.
Did I even say the
They beat
Trailblazers?
teams that wasn't. I mean, Trailblazers. They don't even have their star player on their team. They got Shaden Sharp. And that's about it. And then, you know, did they lost to the Pelicans, right?
That was in the preseason. My bad. But
Right.
the teams
I'm
that
saying.
in the regular season they lost to, because I said they were 4-2. They were the Clippers and then the Lakers. My bad. My bad.
Those are two teams they would have to compete with, and I just don't see them even getting close to those two teams.
But those
When
two
it
teams
comes
are
to-
in the West though. It's not like they're gonna be.
There's a map. Exactly, but I'm saying even in the East, they still got players. They still got teams that they got to beat, and I just don't think they're gonna make it over that hump this
Well,
year at least.
I don't think there's that many teams in the East better than them.
The
For them
East is
to
very
not,
top heavy. I'll say that. It's just like the the Celtics, the Bucks are the two teams that are saying are contenders in the East. Every other team are really good playoff teams like the Knicks, maybe even the Sixers, depending on how they finish the season with the assets they have, to like the Raptors or
yeah,
something. I'm like, you know,
yeah. I think there's a like I said. I feel like they have a chance of hovering around the 5, 6, 7 range,
mm-hmm.
or at least
Look, I don't think the Magic are better than the Celtics, Sixers, Hawks, Bucks, Nets, Pacers, or the Raptors, or the Heat, and the Cavaliers. Who else? Yeah.
And the Wizards. I don't know.
Hell no. What the hell? I don't think. Honestly, I don't think they're also. I think they're in the same range as maybe like the Hornets.
I don't. I feel like I can see where you're coming from. But I feel like they would just be. They're better than the Hornets. I would say they're better than the Hornets. But
Okay, but at what point are you better though? Like, nigga, you're already 11th. So what?
they're
but
fourth right now. Yeah,
Against shit teams, they beat the Trailblazers.
the Lakers and the Clippers.
they lost to the
They beat the
Clippers.
Lakers.
Okay, well
Yeah.
this, I guess. I mean,
It's a young team, you know. Like, and then playoffs is different. Like at the end of the day, regular season, obviously, like an 8 seed team can go to the NBA Finals, like we saw. So I feel like seeding during the regular season, as long as you make the playoffs, doesn't mean shit if you can perform.
Hmm. But going to the Western Conference, the Grizzlies are the only team in the league right now that have not gotten a win yet. They are 0-6. I think they play the Trailblazers tonight. Uh, how long do you think this is gonna last? Like, do you think they could still make the play-in, maybe, or is it just like they just got to eat these first 25 games, finish the season like I don't even know, try to get a good draft pick, have a bounce back year? What's like? What do you think the the Grizzlies season is gonna look like?
to me personally, I think it's going to be a bounce back year for them next year. I don't think it's going to be a very good season for them this year.
So you think they're gonna be like 13th seed, 12th seed type thing?
I ain't say they're going to be that low. I just don't think they're going to be. I can see them being like 9, 10, like around there.
I don't know. The
Like,
Grizzlies are just they've been.
I think it's the way the team is built. Even if you add Jaw, I don't think it's going to be a great team.
Why do you say that?
Except for, I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking of the pieces they have. Obviously, Desmond Bain is cool. You know, Marcus Smart with this team at least. For me, I just don't think it's going well personally. I mean, they're missing their bigs, minus Jared, of course. And yeah, Jaw's missing too, and that's for a pretty considerable chunk of the season.
I think the thing is with them, Jaw's out for 25. Like you said, Brandon is out. Steven Adams is out for the whole season, and
Yeah,
they've lost like Tyus Jones last year. He was a playmaker for them. There's not somebody that can create the offense for the team without Jaw. And like before when Ja was out, they had Tyus, but now that he was a part of the trade, they don't have someone to. They just have a bunch of. I saw somewhere they said someone said that they have a bunch of play finishers, but not enough play creators. Like you can give it to Desmond Bain for the three, but it's easier for him to get an off ball screen or something, and get that three off. You pass him, you know, or get the lob from Jaren, than for them to create it for themselves because that's not really how they play their game. Like they're more,
yeah.
the gravity of Jaw. Oh, people try to get him to the run. He's trying to prevent him to run to the rim. He's open for the three maybe once or twice a game. It's just I don't know. The Grizzlies are just weird, man. Because I feel like some people Not, I mean, I won't say that, but I'm just saying they're just in a weird like they're just very weird. Like they're weird, man. They're weird.
Yeah, I think they made a pretty big mistake trading away Tyus. Considering, if I'm not mistaken, I think his like turnover to assist ratio was like a 0 or damn near 0. Like it was hell low.
I don't think can you have a zero turnover assist ratio? Because
Probably
that
not,
doesn't make
but it
sense
was
to
like
me. Because that means you would get no assists, no ratio. Like no, what's it called? I think, but I know what you're talking about. It was like the ratio was something like 6-0 or something like that. It was like
hell low.
Bro, look, when Ja comes back, I still see them. 25 games is hard to come back from, especially being 0-5 right now. So
0-6.
I feel like they got 0-6. Oh, they lost yesterday, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's 25 games plus the fact that he's probably gonna miss a couple games.
Just due to injury and stuff.
Okay, but look though, based off of last year and looking at the Eastern Conference especially, and looking at the records and what teams were actually the whole league and what teams were making, like playoffs in general with their record, I think the losses that they might take before Ja comes back will be hurt. Like they'll hurt them, but I don't think it'll hurt them to the point where they're not going to even have like a chance of making the playoffs. I think regardless, it's still a playoff team because when Ja comes back, he's a problem for everybody. Like you can't. There's really not a way, and I don't think that a lot of teams even found a way to stop Ja last year. He had a phenomenal season last year, so yeah, that's number one. Number two, Marcus Smart could be that backup. At the end of the day, he's still a defensive point guard, and they might need that. And I think that's what they were thinking. So yeah, they're going to use that. And then also, well, that team is gonna be fine. I feel like it's the same really team, but they just lost their backup point guard.
No, this is different. The injuries I think is another thing. That too.
Yeah, but Steven Adams didn't play last year either. He didn't even see the court last year.
What?
And then what's his name? Huh?
Steven Adams was getting PT. What are you talking about, bro?
He did not play last year. He was out last year.
He was out for. I'm pretty sure he was out for stretches, but he was still playing.
Steven Adams, I don't think he played last year.
Let me check. But continue what you're saying. I'm gonna let you know.
And then somebody on the I forgot his name. Somebody else tore his ACL.
Clark.
Yeah, him. He tore his ACL, but he's back now. He just that whole offense is just feel like they recruited what's his name, Marcus Smart. That whole team is just supposed to revolve around John Morant, which is I think that's a pretty good bet. But yeah, I think when he comes back, they're gonna be pretty solid. Like it's not really gonna be an issue for them to pick up, but maybe I'll give them like play in, maybe playoffs.
I don't know, but he played 42 games last year, so he played some games. So he didn't get nothing, like you're trying to say. But anyways, going back to the top of the West, the Mavericks. Luka's been having an MVP. He's been playing like an MVP. He's 4-1. Let me check the teams they beat. I know they're playing the Hornets right now, but I know they beat the Mavericks. They've played the Nuggets, who they lost to. They beat the Bulls. They beat the Grizzlies. They beat the Mavericks, and then they beat the Spurs. So, do you think the Mavericks can be their number 3 right now? Are they gonna stay at that level or not? Like, are they still can they have home court advantage in the playoffs as a top 4 seed, or is it just like I said, too early? You got to see. They're just hot right now. They're gonna fall down. The defense just been a little bit better than how it usually is. Maybe because Luka, he's at MVP season. He's not gonna be playing almost 40 points per game every night. You expect him to be, 6 or 7.
Yes, I do. I think last year they didn't really have enough time to work that stuff out, and I think they got Jeremy Grant now, or yeah, whatever.
You mean Grant Williams? How am I like Jeremy Grant?
It's your fault. You keep on messing up with the Williams, bro.
Yeah, I did mix up with the Williams.
That too. But anyway, what is it called? I think now that they got Grant, it's gonna be pretty solid for them. Like defensively, they had their game against the Nuggets was pretty solid. Like considering the fact that they just started again, and then Denver has been playing with each other for a while. Like they had a pretty good game. Luka had a great game, but it is kind of early. But I do think it will figure it out down the stretch. You never know what can happen in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I think
Uh,
they're probably gonna be like fifth, sixth seed. Um, I don't know. Like they're a good playoff team. I had some issues with Kyrie and Luca. I don't know how that perimeter defense would look. I thought it would be a little bit more shaky, like how it was, but they've been looking solid. Um, Derek Lively's having a nice rookie year. Grant Williams has been good as well. Good for them, and I think they're just a good playoff team. Yeah, I think they're a good playoff team.
yeah, I was gonna say the same. I really see them hovering around their six. I don't think they'll have any like difficulty making the playoffs, but I don't think they will necessarily go that far in. And the reason why I say this is because like I just think of it from a defensive standpoint, you know, because realistically, most teams are kind of figured out by like the first or second game of a series. Like your whole offensive scheme kind of goes out the window at that point. So I feel like another thing that, but with that also another thing that I realize is that the offensive weapons that they have aren't just your typical offensive weapons. This is Kyrie Irving and Doncic. So like you have to also take that into account, which means they could potentially go further, but I don't see it happening just because of like just how deep the West is possible. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like defensively they won't make it that far in the playoffs, especially like if they're playing Luka and Kyrie. They're not necessarily defensive players. Not by any means are they playing bad this season so far, but like I just don't think in the long run it'll help them go all the way.
I think it's like if they go against, I think kind of you were saying earlier with I forget what team, but like a second round exit, like they're probably a second round exit. But the thing is, they got Luca, who we've seen before in other playoff runs, conference finals when he was playing against the Clippers. He could put up some crazy stat lines in the playoffs. So they had that definitely on their way, and Kyrie's also had some great moments in the playoffs. But I think they're very like they're unique. They're a very unique team. I feel like at this point, and that's one team I was saying it before. I think that's one team I like. I'm very interested in seeing how this whole season plays out for them. But to finish off this segment, we're going to talk about the 76ers. They haven't had James Harden the entire year, but they are still the second seed in the conference, 4-1. What do you think about the Sixers? And we said before we didn't consider them to be contenders. I mean, you guys agree with me saying that they weren't at that top level. They're second seed right now without after trading their second best player. Maybe do some more trades. Are they, what's the likelihood that they make it to the finals, or at least the conference finals?
I personally, I mean, there's definitely a possibility they can make it to the conference finals with exceptional play. Keyword with exceptional play. Other than that, I don't see them making it that far. I can see them maybe being a second round exit as well. That's just my take. I feel like though they're second seed right now, their play is definitely eventually going to dip, considering it's the 76ers.
What do you mean considering it's the 76ers?
I don't know, bro. They just don't really hold it together, like in the long run. You know what I mean? Or am I tripping?
I mean, not really, but I don't know, man. Like,
Like for some reason, they always like take a big dip. Pause throughout the season.
they've had some lulls, but right now they've been looking good, though. I'll say that. I'll give them that. Especially Maxi. He's the MIP. Honestly, maybe you could even say he's the favorite for most improved player between him or Cam Thomas. Like, he's been looking really good. He got player of the week for the East. And I think he got really, like, that's probably really what led them to trade Harden is because they seen that he was really doing his thing out there. And they're like, oh, yeah, we got him. Maybe, I don't think he'll play at that level, but the whole season, but 25, I think he might be able to put up on average.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing as for the reasoning why they would trade Harden is simply because Maxi is kind of coming into his own. But honestly, I don't even see Maxi as like Like for me personally, I know realistically he would be a candidate for most improved player, but for me, he's been playing like this the last kind of like 2 seasons, or not sorry, 2 seasons. Like the last season, especially, and this season he's been kind of having this going. So I don't really see him as. I don't think it's an improvement. I'm just thinking more people are starting to take notice to it.
I think he's been on the radar since Ben Simmons left. Once Ben Simmons, like I mean, not since Ben Simmons left, but since he was gone and the Sixer, he filled in for the Sixers, and he was kind of that,
Yeah.
what's it called? But he still like improved. Like then he was maybe like 17, 18 points per game, and then Harden came. He was really a playmaker for them. Now he got 20, 21, and then this year, I think he's averaging like 28, 29 on the season. Like he's been showing improvement, but you know, I want to give him that respect right there. But Nate, what do you think about the Sixers, man?
All right. To start off, I'd like to say with a player like Joel Embiid, MVP from last year, you're still gonna have good chances of going far. So that's one thing. And number two, I feel like they've been playing more team basketball, and like their rotations against, especially I was watching the Suns game. The rotations against the Suns game was amazing. Like they were actually putting, like everybody was touching the ball during possessions, and I feel like that's all because of number one, Maxi. He was doing a great job of distributing,
Mm-hmm.
but he was also shooting lights out. Like he was really out there hooping. So yeah, but I don't know. I feel like with Harden gone, seeing Joel Embiid, he actually uh, defended Harden when he said uh, he was the system.
He says, "I'm not
Joel
a
Embiid was
system
like,
player. I'm the system. I could be a system."
yeah, like Joel Embiid was like, yeah, he did a pretty good job of getting our offense started or whatever. But I'm just saying now I'm seeing more team basketball from the 76ers. Like, even Tobias Harris had his time to shine against the Suns. He was making some great plays. Um,
I mean, I'll be sleeping on Tobias, bro. Tobias is not as bad as you guys think he is. I
Nobody
promise.
said he was bad, but he's also not on Joel Embiid's level. Or so it's just like when you have Joel Embiid on your team, you're not gonna be seen as much. But yeah, honestly I think they were, and Kelly Oubre too.
Yeah,
He was
I think all it was. I saw a stat where four people on the Sixers are averaging 20, and it was Kelly, I think Tobias, Maxi, and Embiid. So, like you were saying, it's been a lot of ball movement, team ball.
yeah.
Everyone getting theirs.
I think it's just on any given night those players can actually perform, and it's not just because like they got lucky or whatever. But I just think like their team, like their coaching and their team just has a little bit figured out to where it's like, okay, in these situations we can use this player to do this, and I feel like that's what they were doing against the Suns, and they got the win over them. And yeah, and you see Joel, he's not scoring as much, but he is also playing more team basketball too. So I think with him and Maxi doing that, it's gonna take him pretty far.
I think another thing we forgot to mention as well, their new pickups. On top of that,
Like who? You just want to talk, bro. Why are you saying about them new pickups? You don't even remember. Name one player. We just mentioned Kelly Oubre. He joined the team. That's a new pickup.
Kelly Oubre, Robert Covington.
all the Clippers pickups.
Oh, you could have just said that, bro.
I mean, I thought kind of went without saying, but okay.
No, because when I said what pickups, you didn't say anything.
Nigga was cooked. He ain't know what to say. He said,
He said,
Oh, I thought he wanted me to say Nicholas Batum. That's why.
"Oh,
I don't know why.
why? What's wrong with Nicholas Batum?"
Fourth quarter, why you put Nicholas Batum?
So for this part, we're gonna be doing a team draft. We're gonna go snake, so it goes Muhammad, Tef, me, Tef, Muhammad, and then just keep on going like that. So it's currently in the right now, which is what currently means. So Muhammad, any player right now, who do you want on your team to start off?
Played safe, go with Jokic.
Jokic at the center. And then Nate, what are you gonna put? Who are you gonna draft right now? After.
shoot, I'm gonna go with Jason Tatum.
Let me know. I gotta put my camera. Give me Steph Curry and Giannis. won already. Steph Curry and Giannis.
Hey,
Y'all
what do you
just
want him
sold
at?
yourself. You said what? Power forward. He gonna be a power forward. That's not how you spell his name, but we gonna keep it pushing. All right, Nate. Who you gonna pick now?
Let me think. I'm gonna get Luca.
All right. Okay. Mom, who do you want?
I'll go Dame.
Okay, Dame. That's decent. And then now you go again.
I'll go Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
Shooting guard. Can I change that out, actually? Can I switch it?
Yeah.
I'll go D-Book.
All right. Tef, who's gonna be your who you gonna pick now?
I'm gonna pick Embiid.
Okay. Okay. Give me at my shooting guard, Paul George. And at my small forward, LeBron. Now your turn. Now who you gonna pick? You have a small forward and power forward open.
All right. For my, let me think. No, I already have a small forward.
I mean, shooting guard and power forward. My bad.
My shooting guard. Shoot. Let me think. I'm gonna go KD. Here.
At power forward.
Yeah.
All right, Mama, you got 2 more picks. You gonna have small forward and power forward.
Anthony Davis and Kawhi.
Why are you putting AD at the small forward? You probably.
Oh, that's facts.
But let me think. I was gonna pick AD at my center. It would have been. All right, Nate. Now you got a shooting guard or your 6-man because we have 6-man too. And when I say 6-man, it's not you have to pick an actual 6-man. You could pick any player to be your 6-man.
Ooh.
You gonna go Jimmy?
Yeah.
Dang, bro. I wish I got AD. And I gotta think because I need to find someone that can shoot to help Giannis. But we also got Steph, so you don't have to worry that much about shooting. Let me go Bam, bro. You're not scoring anything in that paint with.
Oh no, that's not a 6-man, nigga.
No, for my center. I don't have a center yet. And then now I can pick my 6-man. And my 6-man gonna be. Let me think, bro. Who do I got? Let me think, man. Feeling great, you know. Man, let's get his brother and let's get the Nassus, man. We gonna be feeling great in that locker room. We gonna win it, bro. My team's number 1. Get the Nassus on my 6-man, bro. Quit playing with me.
Nepotism at its finest.
Bro, hey, we gonna be turning up at the when we win the ring. Because I'm beating Muhammad's team by 50. And then definitely gonna beat you by about 57.
You're not beating me.
I don't think you're beating me either.
My team is better.
Okay. To each their own, bro.
How the hell do you even spell that nigga's name?
Wow, that's crazy. He's his older brother too. Why is he little, bro?
Little bro.
But now, Nate, you could pick your sixth man.
Sixth man. Shut.
It's hard picking your sixth man. That's why I just went with the Nasus. We just gonna turn up at the party.
Nah, you can. I don't think you'd beat me, but let me think. I picked Josh Okogie.
You could pick Okogie.
Does that have to be a legitimate six man?
No, I said you could be any player. He just picked the sixth man.
NBA roster.
Bro, you're cheating.
Bro, wait. You said it doesn't have to be a sixth man?
A literal sixth man. It could be like Jalen Brunson or something.
I'll leave, bro. All this time to thinking you ain't thought of nobody yet?
It's not even nice, bro. Jalen. Oh, yeah, I forgot he was even available. Cause what's it called? Cause he took D-Book instead. But now, Mom, you could pick your sixth man, and
I have a couple options, but I'm playing favoritism right now. I'm just gonna go with Anthony Edwards.
Okay. So let's do a little recap on the teams. Muhammad's team is Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, and Anthony Edwards. Tef's team is Luka Doncic, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, and Jaylen Brown. And my team, the best team, Steph Curry, Paul George, LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bam, Adebayo, and Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Let us know in the comments. Rank these teams and let them know that my team is number one, even though, you know what I'm saying. I just think, okay, should we all make our case why we think our team is number one? Or, because I feel like it should even, bro. I got Giannis and Bam. We're going to be able to score. And I got Paul George and LeBron. For Giannis and Bam, they're not that great shooters, but I have Steph. I got Paul George and LeBron. They could help. Steph's not that great of a defender. We got defenders to help him. LeBron, none of these players on the team are they're not ball dominant. They don't need the ball to do everything. And we got the best vocal sixth man off the bench. He going to help us out. He going to be giving out about 50,000 high fives. You know, he going to be clapping every single game. He going to let's go. Like, he going to be going crazy too. I think my team's the best team, bro.
Go ahead, Mohammed.
I mean, I think my team speaks for itself, bro. I don't even gotta say too much.
Your team got, outside of AD and Kawhi, no defense, bro. That perimeter defense without, like, we just got to put Kawhi on the corner. Bro, we just going to have a field day with Booker and Dame. They're not going to be able to stop Steph and Paul George and LeBron.
We shall see.
What do you mean we shall see? Like,
Good point.
Shut up. All right, we got Luka, my team, you know, about to be MVP this year, number one. But, you know, he's never failed to perform, unlike some people, you know, on you know, Nathaniel's side.
Like who?
Come playoffs, you see what my players is able to do.
You got Kevin Durant on your team and Joel Embiid. You talk about playoffs.
Yeah, come playoffs, you know, you got the most successful.
Bro, Embiid's always hurt in the playoffs. He's been hurt, bro. He's been hurt in the playoffs since 2019. Embiid.
It don't matter. That's his finger. Regardless, I ain't never seen Bam perform anything.
Because it's not even his role. That's not his role, though. His role isn't to be a scorer or nothing.
He did like me for real.
Hey, quit playing with playoff P, man. You know how he get that. You saw him in the 2021 when he was in the conference finals. He was hooping.
Hey, all I'm saying is, only player on my team that can't really play defense, but you know he's not trash, is Luka. But I'm saying he's low, bro. I mean, Steph Curry is that boy getting bullied.
Bro, Luka's gonna have to play full court defense to guard Steph, and he gonna have to. Bro, so who are you putting on Steph? You're putting Luka on Steph?
Bro, I would put Jimmy on Steph.
Okay, now who are you gonna put on Paul George? Luka. Paul George, bro. I like Luka. Luka, I got his jersey, bro. Paul George is gonna give Luka the business,
like
bro.
Paul George, but he ain't proved shit to me yet, so it don't matter. All I'm saying is, look at this. Who won the playoff series against Mavs versus Clippers?
The Clippers, both times. My player, Paul George.
Bro, you know who was busting his ass during that playoff.
But no, they didn't even put him on. They didn't even put him on. They put Patrick Beverly on Luka.
What are you talking about? He busted both of them.
But you're saying like he was the primary defender. Pat Bev was mainly the guy that was guarding him.
He's taking turns busting both of them. I'm saying, look, bro, you can't take away from his resume in the playoffs. No cap. Like, Jason Tatum, bro, two-way player. Kevin Durant, promise you, nobody on this team can guard him. Nobody on your team can guard him. Embiid, I got paint defense and I got to score. That's all I need. And then, oh man, don't get me started on the richest player, highest paid player in the NBA, bro. Watch out.
But hey, let us know in the comments. This is the end of the episode. You guys have any closing thoughts? My closing thought is we're winning. My team is winning.
Hey, I just want to say I let them, get their little two picks at a time action, but I'm still the best. You see him?
Why you act like you didn't also get 2 picks, bro? You got
what?
You got
what I get?
What's it called? It's a snake draft. It's
Yeah,
fair
exactly.
for everybody. You act like we've literally had this conversation how many times? They don't understand. They don't understand how a snake draft works. I don't understand how they don't understand.
I understand. I just wanted to let you guys get your little picks in.
No. You asked for number 2. Is this why? You asked for number 2 in the draft.
I asked for number 2 for a reason, because I knew Muhammad wanted his snake draft earlier than mine, and you too. You always wanted before me, so I just said, you know what?
No. How are you gonna ask for something and then use it as an excuse, bro? You killing me today.
It's not an excuse.
No. You killing me. No.
My team is still better.
My team is better, bro. My team is better. Hey, thank you for watching. You have a great day. Blessings, and just let us know in the comments. Really, what I'm saying.